let me start with the immediate numbers. I think your editorial in the Business Standard said that the month of June was disappointing in terms of the employment data. Can you tell us what you have taken away from the headline number that employment fell by 13 million, I believe you said? If you could give us a little bit more color on what's going on there.
In the months of April and May, employment did increase month after month. And it was a good increase. About 8 million jobs were added in April and May. And it looked like the economy is coming out of this big problem. We'll recover back to pre-COVID times. But then June disappointed. We did expect June to not do very well because it's seasonally a problematic month. If the rains get late, then employment does suffer in rural India. And that's exactly what happened. So rains were a bit late. Deployment of employment in rural India was delayed, and the numbers kind of crashed. So it is a bigger fall in employment than we had anticipated. So 13 million jobs lost, almost all of them in rural India, was rather disappointing.
Okay. The urban job numbers look, are they extending a trend of repair in June, along with what you've seen in previous months?
Urban India did not show any deterioration. It did not show any loss of jobs also. It saw a very small increase in jobs. So it's like this, that the pain in agriculture or rural India was so big that we just can't stop to complain about urban India not generating enough jobs. Urban India did not do great. It just generated 0.1 million jobs, but we have many more people coming into the labor market. So urban India and India as a whole needs to generate a lot more jobs than what even urban India did. But there was so much pain or so much of disappointment in rural India that overshadows the small gain that we had in urban India.
Our best guess right now is this is linked to agriculture and the sort of late or patchy rains that we saw in June. While there's no way to guess, but if one just puts aside that possible factor, were there any other disappointing aspects of this data from June?
Not much. So June did see a big fall in agricultural employment, but there were falls even in the industrial sector and the services sector. Small falls, but nevertheless, there were declines in all the major segments, all the major sectors of the Indian economy. So small gains, which were not big to write home about, but we expect industry and services sector to continue to grow, to provide more employment. That did not happen.
Mr. Vyas, over a slightly longer period of time, say the last 6 months, when we've been talking about a recovery in the economy, including now finally in the services segment of the economy, how is the pace of job creation comparing to, say, pre-pandemic times? Although even pre-pandemic times we were in a slowdown, but what would be the right comparison to judge whether the pace of job creation has caught up finally?
I would say that the catch-up to where the jobs were before the pandemic is not too bad.
Okay.
But we need to grow beyond that. We have still not reached the employment level that we were at before the pandemic hit us. Okay. So we were at about 408 million jobs in 2019-20, and we are still below 400. We did touch 405, 406 million, but we have never touched 409 again. So there was a big hit. There was a very good recovery. The hit was very big. When there's the lockdown, people who just don't have salary jobs like you and I have just are unemployed. So all those jobs came back. They came back rapidly. But that was a reflection of the informality of our jobs, mostly in India. Informal jobs come back very soon. If I lose a job at CMIE, I can't get another one very easily. But whereas the cart pusher down the street can go back and push his cart. So that recovery was good. But beyond that, it is sluggish. We're not able to go back to where we were.